one was the point object. Another object that we will be using is the parks. So we have a points array. This array will consist of latitude and screen x and to screen y of y. Okay, so this should work. Let's see. Yeah, that works. So currently we have added just. Okay, so this is basically how the map is going to look like. It's building up well now. I have added some more points using this generate points. So what this is basically doing is we have a start latitude, longitude, and the end latitude, longitude. I'm just calculating the route using TomTom API. And when it calculates the route, it also calculates the latitude and longitude that the user will have to move through. So that latitude and longitude we are using to generate a graph, and once the graph is generated, we simply are drawing it on our canvas as I had explained about it. Okay, so also the another thing that we are going to do is we are going to also get this representation of different terrains. Maybe these are some parks or forests or whatever, and also for the river as well. So these are the things that we got to do now. Along with that, we also have to have a feature in which uh, wherever we click, we get the coordinates of that point. So how will we get these coordinates? Obviously, we have the Haversine function currently. We'll have to reverse Haversine this so that we convert the x and y to latitude and longitude. So that is something that we got to do. And yeah, so these are the things that we'll be doing. So now let's just style it differently. The draw line function. I'll just increase its width to 3 and context dot. Let's assign some color to it. Okay, so context dot fill style. Okay, so the stroke style property will do that for us. Okay, this looks better. Along with that, I also want the canvas color to be different. Style background would be, let's say, okay, so yellow, and to choose a proper color here. Okay, so this one is fine. This. Okay, so the canvas color is set. Along with that, we also have the color for roads set. Now the next part is to identify the parks and rivers and all of those things. So for that, what we'll be going to do is we will add something else to the data. So let's keep it as parks.js and water.js for water bodies. So for parks, what we will have is parks array. In the parks array, we will have an object. So for this object, we will have some fields. I'll just show up this to you. So this was our point object. The different objects that we are using are, one was the point object. Another object that we will be using is the park object. In park object, what we will be having is we will have an array of boundary points, and we will just connect these boundary points and fill in with whatever color we want to. And similarly for also for water bodies object also we will do the same thing. So we just have to get the boundary points of that array, and once we get that, we just have to connect all of them and fill it. So first of all, let's get some data out here. So we have a points array. This array will consist of latitude and longitude require this. So let's start. So let's put some data here. Okay, so for parks now, I have added two parks for now. I have added all the points that are covered by the parks. So currently we have added just two. We can add many more. For now, we will keep these two and now figure out how can we display this on the canvas. So in the create map function itself, we will also uh, have a function called as draw parks. So for parks, what we'll be doing is get import parks from dot slash data slash parks, and in the parks we will export default parks file. So from parks we have parks. Now we will execute a function. We will declare a function called as draw parks. Okay, so now in this function draw parks, the first thing that we'll be doing is we will take all the points. For that, we will have to traverse along all the parks, and once we traverse, we just have to take a point. We will get the points array of uh, a park by park dot points. I hope that's fine. Yes, so park dot points, we get the points array. Now once we have the points array, we just have to connect all these dots and fill in something in there. So for that, let's see how we can do that. Mm, Polygon of n number of points in canvas HTML. So for every point, what we are doing is we are just moving to that point, then drawing the line to the next point, and from the next point further up again. So let's do that. Firstly, let's move to context. First, let's get the context here is equal to canvas ref dot current dot get context of 2D. Once we have the context for all the points for const point of points, let's first do one thing. Context dot fill style equals green. I hope that's right. Yeah. And then context dot begin path and context dot move to, let's move to points of 0. Let's move to points of 0 dot latitude comma points of 0 dot longitude, but not in this format. We need the xy here. So let's do this const xy equals get xy. I hope that is right. Okay. So get xy points of 0 comma points of 0 comma canvas width and canvas height. So this is how we will be getting the x and y, which is the start, and let's add it up here. Now the next part will be we have moved to our starting point. Now for const point of points, we will again get the xy equals get xy of a point canvas width comma canvas height. So once we get the xy, we can just say line to x comma y. This will go on, and once this is done, we can just close path and then fill. Right. So let's try this if it works. Hmm, yeah, it should work anyways. Okay, so it appears, but then it also goes away. Mm, maybe this is not saved in the history. We also have to save it in the history. So whenever we redraw it, these things also get drawn up. So for that, let's also keep a park history. Actually, what we can do here is that we can simply add. So whenever we are saving the history, we can add type here to line, and that will enable us to use the function draw line whenever we are redrawing it. And for draw parks context dot fill. So first of all, what we will do is we have the points array. We will be in this for loop, and once everything is done, we will just push into the history type as park, and along with that, we will also send points as points, and yeah, that's it. So we will push this into the history, and also in the redraw canvas function, we will have to add this item of history if item dot type equals line, then draw line if item dot type equals park, then let's draw park. Once we get xy, let's convert it into to screen x and to screen y of y. So this is something which is mandatory because we have to take care of the fact that we have an offset that is changing to handle the panning of the screen, because of which everything was disappearing in the. Let's do one thing. Let's create a function draw path, and the function will simply take up points. Once it has these points, it will execute this, and yeah, so it will execute this, and let's also uh, call this function here with points, and we have the points, so let's also draw part item dot points. Okay, so this should work. Let's see. Yeah, that works. So currently we have added just these two parks, and yeah, that looks fine as well. Now the next part would be okay. So in this same way, we can also add any water body that is present.